Welcome to Living a Champion Life, the podcast for those ready to take ownership of their health, their mindset, and their future. We're Stacey and Jesse Coleman, founders of Champion RX, a complete system for fitness, nutrition, and personal transformation designed to help you rise stronger, clearer, and more rooted in who you really are. This is about more than workouts or meal plans. It's about reclaiming your time, your strength, and your life from the inside out. Get ready to rise. This is Living a Champion Life.
All right, we're here. We're at the fifth practice of the Champion LifeCycle, and it's called Evolve.
And evolving means you're becoming something new. You're completing this growth cycle in the Champion LifeCycle, and you're changing into and fully becoming something new in your life. It's about locking in the changes and the progress that you have made and making it permanently part of you as you take the next step and begin a cycle anew.
Right, and the best way to think of this is like when you've reached the goal and you're standing at the top of the hill. We definitely want you to enjoy that moment, to feel that pride and know that you've done something great. But then what? Because what happens is when people are on a more traditional linear model, they may be all the way at the top of the hill and they're feeling great, but then 3 months later, they're kind of looking back up and saying, look at where I was, what's happening, why am I falling? And they're kind of sliding back down to where they started. So instead, we're going to lock it in because remember, the Champion LifeCycle is a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's not linear. You're not going to fall back. We've built in kind of a safety net to help you to stay focused and to lock that goal in.
Right. So we don't want to fall into that trophy trap where you think you've reached the summit and now all the achievement is there and you don't have to do any more work. You've somehow arrived and you're there. And that's a trap. We see that time and time again. If you get stuck there and caught there, it's good to acknowledge your victory once you've achieved your goal. You absolutely should give it that acknowledgement, but you can't stick there very long or inevitably you do that backslide.
Right. So we've got a couple of steps built in that help you to lock in this step. So first of all is to reach down and help somebody else who's starting where you started. Now, it doesn't mean you have to become their coach. You don't have to be their mentor, but just reach down and help. And it could be as simple as sharing a story, to saying when you see somebody new in the gym and it looks like it's their first time, and you can say, hey, I remember my first time and how nervous I felt, but here's what I did and here's how far I've come. And that can help people so much.
Mm-hmm. That reaching down to help, to give somebody else a hand on something that you've developed some proficiency with, it actually anchors that growth that you've earned. It now becomes permanently part of you by giving it away. It's a beautiful irony there. By giving it away, it's now permanently yours. When you help somebody else on that.
Like think about when we were both athletes all through school. Like when I was in high school, we would sometimes coach the elementary kids, and how I didn't even realize at the time, but how much that was helping me to learn the sport more for myself. Mm-hmm. So by you helping somebody else, you're actually getting even a little bit better. You're helping them and you're helping yourself.
Mm-hmm. So reaching down is that first phase of locking it in. And next we want to reach out. So that means in somewhat of an equal footing, you're going to find other people, a community, a group of friends to connect with that can help you keep the momentum going. You know, get involved with some like-minded people with like-minded goals to use that momentum to keep yourself on track.
Right. So if you want to stay consistent with something, think of joining a team, or if you're a part of a gym community, if you're a part of a church community, you can kind of help stay in the flow, stay in the river. And that's exactly why we built the Champion RX group, is because we keep that consistency, we build that community. And if you're on Champion RX, you're watching this in that group, and we can support each other with comments and see how each other's progress are going. And it helps to keep you in that mindset. These are like-minded people in the group that all want to improve their life. They each have their own goals, but they're going about it with a similar approach. And that can be really supportive and help you to stay on track and focused.
You just mentioned a river, and I think that's the perfect analogy in this situation. Is you think of a river that's flowing to a destination that you know you already want to be going. If you jump in that river, the current carries you. You don't have to fight everything to be going in that direction. And this is about carefully choosing which river you want to jump in, because like it or not, that current will carry you. So this can be a positive or a negative. Like if you jump in the wrong river, you're going in the wrong direction, associating with people that are taking you away from your goals. This is that positive assertion where you're choosing the community that's going to carry you along.
Exactly. And then the last step is reaching up. So reach up to a mentor, a coach, someone who's doing what you want to do better than you are. And that can take a little bit of humility, vulnerability to say, hey, you're better than me. Can you help me? But it makes a world of difference when you have somebody that you can ask questions about, learn about their experience. It's going to take you so far.
Mm-hmm. And a neat thing happens there too when we reach up into mentorship is that you actually complete the cycle at the bottom of the reverse of the reaching down. That mentor is now growing as a mentor by giving you that hand up. You're completing that process and making the cycle work even more powerfully. You're participating in that truth.
Right. And so now that you've reached down, you've reached out, you've reached up, you've met your goal, what's next is to go back to the map, to start the cycle over. And it doesn't have to feel like you're running another marathon. You could choose something really like, I just want to stay where I am for 6 months, which oftentimes can be harder than actually doing the thing you just did.
Mm-hmm.
But you always got to choose the next thing. Otherwise, we just turn into a linear model again. We want to make sure that we're going back to the map and starting the cycle. It's probably going to be easier the next time in a lot of ways because you're used to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super important that you choose the next thing or you'll find yourself slipping back.
Yeah, you've learned some of these practices now, and you can relate to them as you go your next lap, kind of where you are on that journey. And it's neat because we create that link between the end and the beginning through that reach up step. When you choose that next goal or that next thing that you want to get better at, and that mentorship that's going to aid you to get there, you've already begun setting a new aim. You've already begun to establish, okay, now I'm here. You've already begun that map process again, and it's that link that ties it together. So we'll leave you with an action step here on Evolve. And that's to simply choose a person that you might reach down to and give a hand up. Let's practice this reach down, reach out, reach up in any level that's best for you.
Maybe choose a community that can help you stay where you are. Maybe choose a mentor, a coach. Like, it's always so important to have that in your life, as somebody that you can look up to and ask questions to. And if you need help again, you're in Champion RX. Hey Coach is there to help you through that process.
Absolutely.
So how do you actually apply the Champion LifeCycle to your real life?
Right, so you get a couple of options here. One of them is on the macro scale. Think big life goals, something that may take, months or years to accomplish. It works in that element. And when you put yourself to purpose over time, this is a surefire way to get yourself there. But it also works in the microcycle. It can apply to even daily practices where you build this rhythm of the Champion LifeCycle into your daily routines for things that are much smaller.
Right. Thinking of, okay, so waking up in the morning and saying, okay, where am I now? What do I want to do today? What's my plan to get there? What do I need to detox from today's schedule in order to make that happen, or today's life in order to make that happen? Then I got to rise up and actually get up out of bed and get up out of the house and make it happen. And I got to do the work. I got to do the hustle. I got to show up, do my job, and then I can come home. And when you're at the end of the day, you can reflect on how did I make a difference today? Who did I reach down to? What community am I a part of? And who's my mentor?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can really use this on a daily cycle, or like Jesse said, you can use it on bigger, longer things. Maybe it's a 20-year goal. Honestly, this whole thing, living a champion life, was a goal that Jesse and I started back in 2010. How long ago was that? 15 years now?
Yep.
Crazy. But this whole thing, and so it's been a lifelong goal, essentially, that we've been working towards and using this system to make it happen.
Right.
So it can be small, it can be big, it can be week to week, month to month. It could be the marathon, it could be the weight loss, but it could also just be in your life of just finding sustainable health.
Well, one of the neat things that we've done in this process is curated a package to put all of these things together. Like, we've taken the science of exercise, and we've taken the science of nutrition, but we've also melded other sciences, behavioral change science in there, like the trans-theoretical model of change and cognitive behavioral therapy elements, these things that are known now about how we change as a person. And we've woven them over something like the hero story, the hero journey that is in literature. And we've woven them
Movies,
all
many movies.
absolutely. It's a pervasive, powerful trigger that mimics the human experience, this human journey that we're on. So we put those two together, and we can take practical, actionable steps in our lives and become really the hero in your own story.
Thanks for spending your time with us on Living a Champion Life. If today's episode moved you, challenged you, or reminded you of what's possible, take a moment to share it, subscribe, or leave a review. To go deeper into your own journey, join us inside Champion RX, our full system for rooted, sustainable transformation in fitness, nutrition, and mindset. Until next time, stay grounded, stay focused, and keep choosing the life you are meant to live. This is Living a Champion Life.